Don't stop believing. That's all I can do without getting copyrighted and stuff. But hey guys, it's Victor. Give me a flick man with a empty shot, tonguing that empty shot, and a almost new bottles of Teachers. Isn't that appropriate? Teacher for a teacher. Yes, sir. And I've got Cleveland tonight. I keep using the same Family Guy shot glasses. And I've had a couple of these already, but a couple for me is like nothing, right? Anywho, I've got a, oh, here's another go. Oh, here's Tokyo Sam. Okay, bears are dangerous. Bear, hey, did you guys watching Game of Thrones, man? God, wasn't that great scene with the grizzly bear and the tough woman? That's a great show. You know, I love it when the shows surprise you. A lot of people, when you ask a lot of Japanese people like, why do you like movies and stuff like that, they often say things like they want to feel good. You know, they like the happy ending. But for me, I want to be disturbed. I want to walk away from the movie theater. Not always, of course. You know, not when I see the Avengers or Iron Man. You know, you know what would really disturb me? If like at the end of Iron Man, like Iron Man and Dr. Bruce Banner or David Banner, whatever the hell his name is in the you know they changed the name of the Hulk, right? Anyway, the Hulk's alter ego and Tony Stark, if they got it on, that would disturb me. Or maybe Captain America is gay. That would be pretty disturbing. Not that there's anything wrong against being gay. It just kind of it goes against my whole, you know, the way I was brought up. I mean, reading those comic books, nobody was gay. So I think like if they had a new superhero and he was a kick-ass and gay guy, I'd be okay with it. Though I kind of, I'm sorry that the Green Lantern guy, he's gay. I think he's gay, right? Isn't he gay? Because he's like, that's kind of, you know, I mean, he's so flamboyant anyway. Like, if they should have picked someone who's a little bit more butch gay, I think, you know, like The Rock, like if The Rock in a Fast and Furious 6, like if he were gay, that would be pretty cool. I'd believe it and I would be okay with it, you know, because he's a new person to me, not like Captain America being gay. Anyway, I'm babbling. So with that, let's get on to the first part of the video. Okay, that's good. It's called Highland Cream. I hope that doesn't mean they put something in it, some special ingredients, but boom. Okay, here's the first thing. I'm going to be answering some emails today, and I have to tell you guys, if you send me an email, you have to expect two things. First of all, when you send me an email, please tell me your age, your nationality, and some educational background. Like, don't just ask me a random question. Can I get a job? I don't know, man. I don't even know where you're from. I don't know if... And tell me your sex, too. I mean, not that that matters that much, but the sex is not that important. But I mean, your gender, I mean. Not your sexual history, which would probably be quite short for most of you. Anyway, boom. Yeah, so when you email me, I hate getting these stupid emails from people. They don't I mean, emails about your possible careers in Japan. Well, you don't tell me anything about yourself. Hello. I'm going to answer a question about you. I don't know what country. Can I get a job in a job? Can I do work holiday? I don't know. Where the hell are you from? Why don't you Google that shit? Come on, give me a break. Anyway. So the first, that's the first thing I wanted to get off my chest, right? Oh, and the next thing about that is, if you do email me and ask me to answer your stupid question, which most of them are, not all, and I appreciate the stupid questions. If it's really stupid, I really appreciate it. But you should be prepared to be ridiculed. Okay, that should be a rule. I think that you guys watching these videos, don't you think that should be a rule? If you're gonna send me a stupid question, you should just, I'm telling you now, please send it with the you know, this is a contract. This is a contract. I answer your question, and you submit that question with the understanding that I might make fun of you, you know, and I'm not going to say your name. It's like a total jerk thing, right? And if you can deal with that, then don't worry about it. That's cool. And if you can't deal with some moron making fun of you on the internet, then, you know, maybe you should really just stay in your basement. Of course, I've never really met anyone who lived in a basement, but, well, you know the stereotype. Anyway, that's with that's done. That's out of the way. The first question I got today comes from, I don't even know, someone with a strange name with numbers and crap. And he says, what do you think about Edward Snowden? And of course, Edward Snowden is the whistleblower, the nerdy whistleblower, high school dropout from, I don't know, Virginia or something. Where the hell is he from? He grew up in North Carolina. Okay, that's almost the same. And he went to community college and he got his GED, and then he went to the army, broke both his legs. You know, his story is like a Charles Dickens novel, American style. It's like, wow, what a loser. You know, I mean, in a way, but in a way, I'm saying that in a positive way. Like, everything seems like this guy's not going to go anywhere. But then he ends up scoring a job as a security guard at a covert NSA facility. And he goes on to work for the CIA. You know, no one would. I mean, look at the picture of this guy. He's got one of those like crappy beards. Like, you just want to tell him, dude, just give up. Just give up. You can't grow a mustache. I know better. I know it took me years to grow a mustache, and then most of my family hates it, so I ended up shaving it off. But and the gray started getting in there. You know. So, you know, you got to a man should know his. What's the Clint Eastwood? Someone look it up. The Clint Eastwood quote. A man should know his limitations, and your facial hair limitations are quite apparent. Anyway, but here's the thing about this guy. He's just kind of a loser kind of life, but he somehow was able to, you know, come to, I don't know, fire on all pistons at the same time, and he landed a job at the CIA, and he ended up living in Hawaii with his girlfriend, getting $200,000 a year. A month would have been amazing, right? And then he gave it all away to become kind of a hero. He's moved on. He's trying to get amnesty in Iceland, the last I heard. And he's basically whistleblowing on all these things that he thinks that the United States government is doing wrong. And I'm sure a lot of you guys agree with him. I can't say, you know, besides his background, I mean, as you know, I said he's a loser, but in the end, he turned out to be a winner, which is great. Although he still can't, you know, his facial hair problem, I don't think there's anything he can do about that. But I don't really have much to say about that, except that I think he's got a lot of guts, and I probably wouldn't do that. If I were making $200,000 a year, living in Hawaii with my wife or girlfriend, I wouldn't give it up to go to live in Iceland. That's like going to the gulag, man. I mean, really, why would you do that? That should be someone else's problem. Or you should, you know, leak that information anonymously. Like, he's like, I did it. Yep. Crucify me. I did it. Good for him. Good for him. I wouldn't wish any friend to do that. But I guess someone's got to do it. And that's all I got to say about him. Okay. So that's the first question out of the way. Okay. I got tons of other questions. The other one, ironically, comes from the guy I met, Aaron, in that last video. Do you guys remember him? So, ironically, the same day that I met him, I was frustrated by an email that as being a stuck-up son of a bitch, I perceived it as being annoying because it was, what's wrong with this? I got something on Facebook. I'm using what the hell is this called? It doesn't work now. I'm using Firefox, and it's got something called Blocker on it. I'm just trying to get to my inbox here. Okay, I don't know what the hell that is. I've never seen that before. Something I downloaded. Okay, so I got a message from that same guy, Aaron, like a few hours before I actually ran into him on the street. Of course, I didn't know it was from him. And the message is, I want to read it to you as follows. Oh, now, of course, my internet's not working. Come on, you son of a bitch. My internet's actually really fast, but I think it's YouTube. I think YouTube's being screwy. I just downloaded some stupid plugin, and I think it's interfering with everything. Okay, I don't need to look at it. But he asks me, he says, he says, stupid question about masks. Now, when he said mask, I was intrigued because I'm a collector of masks, and this is actually one of my broken masks, but I have a whole bunch of these really cool masks adorning the room. You've probably seen them in some of the videos. And I thought, oh, cool, he got a question about masks, but how could that be stupid? But what he wants to know is, I'll just read it to you because it's short. Oh, I almost spilled my whiskey. I have a really stupid question about Gaijin wearing the hygiene masks. I caught a little cold on the way to Nagoya, so I was coughing a lot. Now I used a tissue, but I was wondering what the etiquette was with Gaijin wearing the masks. And I was like, etiquette? What are you talking about? And so I'm like, okay, I'm an idiot, right? I'm a moron too. So I asked my, my manager at the school. I said, hey, Yukari, look at this question. What do you think he means by etiquette? She's like, I don't know. I said, are there any special rules about wearing masks? And she said, no, as far as I know, just put it on. I'm like, yeah, that's what I thought. But then she said, well, maybe he's asking whether he should even wear one. I said, the other day I was riding the train and some guy, like right next, like across the train, sitting on the opposite side, he was like sneezing a lot and like just spraying everywhere. And you could tell by the look of this guy, he's a little funny in the head. So, but I was annoyed. I was like, dude, use a, sneeze into your arm. One of the kids I teach, I don't teach many kids, but I teach a few. One of the kids I teach, oh, there you go. He sneezes into his elbow here, and I think, hey, it's a smart kid. Hey, I respect you, kid. The kid's annoying, but his English is good. So anyway, and he sneezes properly. So I thought, I appreciate it when people wear masks when they're sneezing and stuff. Though some of the kids, when I'm teaching them and they wear masks, or some adults when they wear masks, and I'm trying to get them to pronounce something correctly, it's really annoying because I can't tell whether they're pronouncing something correctly, which is basically, I guess, my problem. But anyway, so yeah, so I got this mail and I was like, that's a stupid question, and I was going to tear him a new butthole, as they say, as this expression goes for some strange reason. But I've got nothing really to say because he's a really nice guy. I met him in real life, so I don't want to say anything bad about him. But I guess I can see now that his question was probably, should I wear a mask? And the answer is yes. If you are sneezing quite a bit, please do wear a mask. People around you will appreciate it. And that's about it about the mask question. So that's one of the questions out of the way. The other question I got, where the hell's the other question? I got all these windows open. I got a big old ass 27-inch screen here, but I still can't find things. Okay, here's a big question. I get a lot of these questions about what do Japanese people think about this and that, and I gotta tell you, please don't send me those kind of questions. Well, actually, I wanted to say that, but I started thinking about that. Okay, what do Japanese people think about Latin Americans? As being a Latin American myself, but I'm a little bit special, as in first of all, my nationality is American. Okay, I was born in Peru, but came over to the States when I was 1 year old, and I do not consider myself Peruvian at all, though I speak Spanish. Sí, hablo un poco de español. And I've been to Peru like, I don't know, a dozen times or so. And, I'm not ashamed of it or anything. It's just, culturally, I grew up watching, Star Trek on TV, and I'd sit in front of the TV, and and my brothers and sisters and I, we'd sit in front of the TV, we'd wait for that light to go, we'd all pretend that it was going to hit us, I mean, we're American. We watched the Brady Bunch and all that crap growing up, and my parents, encouraged us to, assimilate like the Borg. What's it called? Resistance is futile. You will be assimilated, kind of thing, right? And we became American, right? We spoke Spanish at home sometimes, but more, we didn't even notice we were like Latin American because we were the only Latin American kids in our school. Well, there was another group, but we all spoke English together. So another family, not another group, like freedom fighters. But anyway, but I started thinking about this, and I think, to be honest, that you will be treated differently by some people, by shallow people, by ignorant people in Japan who think you are different or less than Americans or British people. Yeah, certain nationalities like Americans, British and Americans. I said Americans twice, right? Excuse me. That's the teachers talking. Okay, yeah, certain I guess groups are treated better. Americans, British, Australians, maybe, I don't know. But I guess white nationalities are treated better. Europeans, French and stuff, Italians. I've had people come up to me in bookstores and start speaking French to me, and really excited, like, "Oh, are you French? Oh, I'm so excited to meet you." Like, "No, I'm just an American." And I suppose if you belong to if you are a citizen of a third world, for example, a Colombian yeah, there are certain groups of certain Japanese who will treat you, not as well. Okay, I was thinking about this I was thinking about this question on the way home tonight, riding my bicycle on the way home, and I remembered one of the first girls I met here who was engaged to a Colombian guy, and her family, and they were a pretty well-off family, higher middle class, and they had hired a private investigator to look into him because all they knew about him was that he was Colombian. The boyfriend, did I say that? The boyfriend was Colombian. And I don't know how much of this I'm thinking, how much of this I'm verbally iterating here, expressing verbally. And anyway, they looked into his past, and they got a private investigator, and the guy did a lot of like statistical background research into what kind of criminals exist in Colombia. And of course, he said there are a lot of people who live in Colombia deal with drugs. This was like 25 years ago, right? Where I think Colombia was much more dangerous 25 years ago. I've been a Colombian. It's like one of the only South American countries I've ever traveled through. I've traveled through almost all, and I was pretty scared. Colombia, I was like, this is a scary city, Cartagena. But yeah, they looked into it. They didn't want her marrying him for sure. And I met the guy. He was a nice guy. What was his name? Carlos, I think. And they ended up breaking up, the engagement. They were just so against it. She ended up marrying this kind of a jerk from California. Well, I don't want to get into it, but is she better off? Well, who's to say? You can't judge other people's happiness. I think she would have been better off with the first guy, but I have another friend, a good she used to be good. We used to be close, I guess. She was dating, her sister is actually married to a white American, and she was dating a half Italian, half Mexican or something. Anyway, Latino of some sort, a darker version, a darker, member of the American psyche. Anyway, and her older sister was telling her, your husband is not going to be respected because they're looked down on, and as if you can even do anything about that. Like, what's the point of even saying anything like that? I mean, unless if she's engaged and they're in love, that's really, there's no point saying shit like that. I mean, yeah, I guess it's true. It kind of, you are kind of not treated as well by everyone, and even myself, but hell, that happened to me in America. So, and you have to, I think for me the secret was finding my own self-worth, acknowledging to myself, Victor, it's time that you realize you're not wetback trash, whatever people think you are, No, I'm joking, but no, seriously, you've got to have confidence. And yeah, there will be people who treat you like that, who don't know. But in the end, those people are ignorant. And Japan has more of them because they're less exposed to foreigners, so they're not sure how to deal with foreigners. So the chances of them knowing anyone, like you are minimal. And so they will just think, they have this kind of thing, this kind of a rating system, I guess, created by the media, created by society. Now you can't really blame them, because a lot of them are ignorant, and some of them will get beyond that, and some of them won't. Just like Americans. I mean, racism. What is racism? It's not like a disease. It's basically a condition of ignorance that some people are lucky enough to have light shed on sometimes, and some of them never do, and they're always stuck in that kind of darkness. And what can you do? There are some Japanese who think that all Koreans are liars, and of course that's not true. It's only like 98%. I'm just kidding. No, but you will meet Japanese who think that. It's just like you meet some whites who think that all blacks are this, or all Latinos are that, or all Muslims are terrorists, that kind of stuff. It's just ignorance, and there's nothing you can do about that except hope. Just be a stand-up person. Carry yourself with respect, and some people will see that, and you will hopefully change some minds by showing them that you are not that kind of person. And other people you won't, and there's nothing you can really do about that. But don't worry about that, because there's a lot of people in this world, so you don't have to associate with those people. and eventually they will be, pushed off to the sidelines of importance, hopefully, or in most cases. And they're not what your happiness is going to be based on. So you will find people here who will accept you and who will love you as individuals. And that's all you need. You only need one. You only need one, guys. And a few friends, I basically have one. I don't have any friends, It's just me out here. Me and my acquaintances around the neighborhood. But, I'm okay with that. Japan is not really the friendliest place for some people. Some people are really lonely here. But there are beautiful encounters all the time. Just today I went out of I was going to I was doing a little sub work for my brother. Sometimes one of his teachers is absent and I gotta go do a sub. He asked me, hey, can you sub a class? I'm like, I don't mind. And I was over by his school, and I remember there's like a swallow's nest, or one of those fast flying birds. I think it's a swallow. It's got longer wings. And I remember there's a swallow's nest, so I brought my GoPro camera over there to see if I could, because it's really high. I can't really look inside the nest. And I thought maybe I could look inside and see some of the babies, right? And when I went there and I looked, and there was nothing, and they were all gone. But that was on my way in. But when I was leaving, some woman was there with her daughter, and they were standing there, and they just started talking to me, and they said, and the daughter was like, I don't know, 7 years old or something. But the woman says to me, oh, there used to be swallows here. Look at the nest. And I said, yeah, I saw those. She goes, yeah, they used to be 3, but this year there are only 2 nests, And I guess they've already, left because they're gone. And I think they're over there practicing the birds. They're flying. And she was just talking to me like the friendliest thing in the world, So she didn't care where I was from. She didn't ask me any questions, and she just was really friendly. And she wasn't insane, which is good, I think. I mean, she could have been, but she didn't look like she was insane. The kid looked well fed, normal. All the clothes was on correctly. So anyway, that's one of the questions. If you're from another country and you think you're going to be treated differently, yeah, you probably will be. But you can't really let that define or influence your decisions. If you want to come to Japan, come to Japan. You're going to find a place here because that's the thing you have to remember. It doesn't matter who you are. You're not that special. Which is a good thing. Meaning there are thousands of people who have made the voyage, who've done it, come to Japan, and they've succeeded in some way or another. And that's my video for tonight. Thanks for watching, guys. My name is Victor. Give me a flake, man. And keep those questions coming. But remember, be ready to be ridiculed.